And we're going to turn to page 121 in your grammar book. It's kind of funny because, I don't have any kids at home anymore because my kids are adults and they're living on their own now. My daughter, as you already know, is in Oklahoma. She's getting ready to move to Louisiana, though, and I'm a little nervous about that. Louisiana. Anyway, and then I have a son who lives in Bakersfield, so he's close by. But I have a ton of nieces and nephews. It's kind of funny because I just live with my husband. It's just the two of us at home. But whenever anybody comes over to play in the snow, we're out there playing in it. It's really fun when you have little kids around. But when it's just the two of us, we don't really go out there and, sled and stuff by ourselves. But when kids come over, that's when it's on right there. It's fun. All right. Coordinating conjunctions, we know those. We've been practicing those. This is a review page. So 121. And the acronym FANBOYS is what we can think of as you're thinking of coordinating conjunctions. Do you guys remember what FANBOYS stands for? FANBOYS. Let's actually just write this down just so we can refresh our memories. So right here, just put FANBOYS in all caps. Who knows what the F stands for? Go ahead, Abby.
For.
Yes, for. How about A? You know what A is, Bronx? So you're talking, think about connecting. Remember the song I played for you like forever ago about conjunction, junction, what's your function? And so it's the box cars that they're putting together, and then there's these words, they're connecting phrases together. So A is and, that's probably the most common one. So for and, do you know what the N is, Paisley? Oh my goodness. All right, you guys. I think Abby knows, but let's write this in. I'm just going to put it down this way. So that's for, F-O-R, and A-N-D. What's N for, Abby?
Nor.
Yes, nor. B is for Abby. What's B for?
But.
But with one T. Just saying. Okay, O, what's the O for?
Or.
Or. Y.
Yet.
S.
So.
Yep, you got it. Okay, Abby gets an A+. Everybody else gets something less than, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you, but Abby's got it. She's got these memorized. So you guys need to memorize these too. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Okay, those are all of your conjunctions. All right, so in these sentences, it says read each sentence and decide what the coordinating conjunction connects. If the coordinating conjunction connects main clauses, insert a comma. If the coordinating conjunction connects 3 items in a series, insert commas. Circle the correct comma rule pattern. All right, so we've got the first one. Robin lost the fight, for he was thinking about a lovely maiden. Aw. All right, the coordinating conjunction, I'm going to do this one for you, and then we're going to take turns with the rest. But the coordinating conjunction is for, so go ahead and label that. For is the F in FANBOYS. You see how I wrote those words down? That's just to help us remember. All right, so we've got Robin lost the fight, for he was thinking about a lovely maiden. Now I know that I've got 2 main clauses here because I have the verb lost and the subject Robin. So go ahead and label those. And then I have the verb thinking It's also was, but we're just going to label thinking and then the subject he. So go ahead and put brackets around the main clauses here like we normally do. Robin lost the fight, for he was thinking about a lovely maiden. So our coordinating conjunction is connecting two main clauses. So it's going to be this first option right here. MC is main clause, and you do need a comma. So go ahead and insert a comma after fight. I know it's kind of hard to see with my marker, but right after fight, comma. So Robin lost the fight, comma, for he was thinking about a lovely maiden. And since it's two main clauses, we have subject and verb. Remember, in a main clause, we always have a subject and verb, but you guys know that. And then there's two of them. So that's how we picked that. All right. Looking at the next one, Maid Marian was a noblewoman, and lived in a castle. So Bronx, first of all, what is the coordinating conjunction here?
And?
Yes, so we'll put CC above and. And then we've got Maid Marian was a noblewoman. That is a main clause, right? Because we have the verb was and the subject Maid Marian. So we can put brackets around that. But what about after this, the CC lived in a castle? Is that a main clause, Bronx?
Yes.
It's actually not, because it doesn't have a subject in it. It only has lived. We're talking about Marian lived, but it's not separate. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. So, but we do have the verb. What is the verb there?
Lived.
Lived, yes. So the verb is lived, but it's not a main clause because we don't have, see how we have he was thinking in that main clause. This one, if it said, and she lived in a castle, if it had she there, then it would be a main clause. But it's connecting a main clause to a verb. So it's going to be this one right here. Okay, Bronx in the middle, the second one over. So no comma for that one. Okay, so Paisley, go ahead and read the next sentence here.
She had bright eyes and a warm smile.
She had bright eyes and a warm smile. Okay, so this one, what is the coordinated conjunction here?
And.
Good, so mark that. And now we're talking, she is the subject. And we're talking about two different things here. We're talking about two different nouns, actually, because we're talking about her eyes and her smile. There's some weird feedback. I don't know whose computer it is, but that's okay. We can do it. So we're talking about eyes and smile. So go ahead and put noun above eyes and noun above smile. Now we do have a main clause here. She had bright eyes, but we know it's not two main clauses and we know it's not a second verb in this part. So now we're going to choose one of these, Paisley. Since we're listing two things here, this is the answer right here, A and B. If it said she had bright eyes, a warm smile, and pretty hair, then that would be A, B, and C, but they've only listed two nouns, her eyes and her smile. So that's why it's A and B. Okay, so Abby, go ahead and read the next sentence and tell us what the coordinating conjunction is.
She could ride skillfully, climb trees, and shoot an arrow straight.
Good.
The coordinating conjunction is and.
Good. And now, which one of these are we connecting two main clauses, a main clause and a verb, two nouns, or three or verbs? What are we connecting? So I'll give you a clue. Let's look at verbs real quick. Okay, tell me the verbs that you see.
Ride, climb, and shoot.
And shoot, there you go. So you've got 3 verbs listed. So it's she's the subject. And then it's telling us 3 things that she's doing. So
Oh.
which one of these answers would be what it
A,
is?
B, and C.
Yeah, there you go. So since it's listing 3 things, and notice there needs to be commas. So she can ride skillfully, comma, climb trees, comma, and shoot an arrow straight. Okay.
Yes.
Sometimes it's listing like nouns, or it's listing adjectives or verbs. It can be listing any of those things. Okay. Back to Bronx. Go ahead and read the next sentence and then tell us what the coordinating conjunction is.
The maid Marian was curious and loyal to the men of Sherwood Forest.
Okay, good. What's the conjunction?
And
Good. So we're connecting Maid Marian was curious and loyal to the men of Sherwood Forest. Now, this is a main clause, Maid Marian was curious, but here, and loyal to the men of Sherwood Forest, loyal is actually an adjective. It kind of sounds like a verb, so it's a little confusing on this one, but loyal is describing what kind of men. Remember, that's how we can tell the adjective is what kind of men. They're loyal. And or what, actually that didn't make sense. What kind of person is she? That's what it's describing. She was loyal to the men. Okay, that's a tricky one. So really these are adjectives. Go ahead and write ADJ for adjective above loyal and courageous. Okay, so that's what the coordinating conjunction is connecting. So what do you think the answer is here, Bronx?
MCCC second verb.
Okay, good guess. This is a main clause, but loyal is an adjective, not a verb here. So really what it's connecting is it's an adjective connecting another adjective. So it's not going to be these two. It's either going to be A and B or A, B, and C.
A, B, and C.
It's actually A and B. It's okay, Bronx. You're going to be okay. I know it's confusing. I'm with you. A and B just means 2 things. Okay, so it's connecting courageous and loyal. If it said courageous and loyal and friendly, that would be 3, right? Courageous, loyal, and friendly. But since it's just courageous and loyal, 2 things, no comma for that. Okay. All righty, let's go on to Paisley. Go ahead and read the next one. Go ahead and unmute.
Maid Marian hated thievery,
Thievery.
but she pitied the poor.
Good.
Which
What's the
is
conjunction? Good.
Main clause, coordinating conjunction, main clause.
Okay, good. You're right, because Maid Marian was curious. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Maid Marian hated thievery. By the way, that just means like thieves with a V, thieves. Maid Marian hated thievery, but she pitied the poor. That's right, main clause, CC, main clause. And then Abby, go ahead and read the next one.
She was known for her beauty. She was known for her beauty, bravery, and boldness.
Good. What's the coordinating conjunction?
Oh, sorry. 4.
Okay. Oh, good guess though. She was known for her. So it's actually and. 4 is there, and it is a fanboy word, but this is the one that's connecting. That was tricky. So what is it? Do you know which one the answer is?
Yeah, A, B, and C.
There you go. Good job. It's connecting beauty, bravery, and boldness. So now we need some commas. Beauty, comma, bravery, comma, and boldness. Okay, and then Bronx, the last one.
Later, she married Robin and joined him in Sherwood Forest.
Good. So coordinating conjunction.
And
Good. What is it connecting? See if you can figure that one out.
joined.
Joined is the verb, yes. So which one of these would it be?
A and B.
No, not A and B. So later she married Robin Hood. That actually would be she married Robin Hood is a main clause.
So main clause, coordinating conjunction, main clause.
No, not that one.
Oh, MC, main clause, coordinating conjunction, second verb.
There you go. I think you were hesitant on that because you guessed that last time and it was wrong. So it probably tripped you up a little bit. But this one is main clause, coordinating conjunction, verb. You got it. All right. Phew. Let's go on to the practice page, which is page 123. We're going to have to move through it kind of fast because that kind of took long. But it's okay. I want to make sure you guys got that. All right. Oh boy, and it's a long one. Yay. Who wants to read this for us here? Any volunteers? I can read it. I'll read this one. Although both were wounded, the battle continued. Finally, Robin delivered a mighty blow, which struck his opponent's ribs. So delivered is our vocabulary word, and that just means to, in this sentence, to strike or throw a mighty blow. So basically it's the action of the punch or whatever it is that he did. I think it's a punch. Okay, so put a check mark by vocabulary. Articles, go ahead and just mark those. We've got 2. Nouns, Paisley, where are our nouns here?
Robin ribs is both.
Robin, what was the second word?
Ribs.
Ribs, okay. And then what was another? Oh, blow. Is that what you said?
Yeah, but is both also?
Oh, not both. No, not both. There's another one at the top there, though. One more noun.
Wounded.
No, that's a verb.
Oh, battle.
There you go, battle. And then pronouns, Abby, there's only one.
Both?
That's correct, yes. Since that was short, I'm gonna have Abby do adjectives too. Where are the adjectives at?
Mighty,
Good,
opponents,
yes,
and his.
yes. Right here. So when you're looking at the verb or the noun ribs and you ask the question, which one, his opponent's ribs, that's how you can tell those are adjectives. It's describing the ribs. Very good. Okay. And then Bronx, we have an adverb here. And those usually end with ly.
Finally.
Yes, very good. And since that was an easy one, I'm going to have you do the next one. The who, which clause.
Which.
Good. And what's the whole clause?
Which struck.
Keep going all the way to the noun.
which struck his opponent's ribs.
There you go. Which struck his opponent's ribs. So remember, it ends on a noun. So this is the who, which. We're going to label it like that, W/W. Good. Okay. And then we have an adverb clause. So Paisley, that is, there's a list of words that begin an adverb clause. Let's just peek back for a second. That is from, actually, it might even be in the back of your book. Let's see. No, just kidding. It's not adverb clause. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Remember the list? Let me see if I can find it really quick. Let me know if, oh, here it is. I found it. Page 115. If you want to just peek back on page 115. We talked about adverb clauses and prepositional phrases. So do you see one of these words that is also an adverb clause that can start the clause? And this is for Paisley. Page 115. I'll give you a clue. It starts with the letter A. You see it, Paisley?
Although,
There you go. So that starts the clause, although, and then where does it end?
although both were wounded, the battle still continued.
Pretty close. It's actually going to end on wounded. So although both were wounded, that's the adverb clause. It actually ends on that verb wounded. So we're going to label that as AC. Okay. Good job. And then the main clause, there's two of them, and it's not going to include these other clauses. So Paisley, what are the two main clauses? I'm sorry, not Paisley, Abby. I meant Abby. There's two main clauses.
The battle continued.
Good. The battle continues. We're putting brackets around that. And then what's the other one?
And finally, Robin delivered a mighty blow.
And actually, it starts with Robin. Robin delivered a mighty blow. The adverb here is an opener.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not part of the, yeah, that's not part of the clause, but that's a good guess though. So those are the two main clauses. We've got subject verb pairs. So I'm going to help you with this just because we're running low on time. I want to make sure to leave enough time for our writing. So were, wounded are two verbs. Continued is a verb. Delivered, a verb. And struck is a verb. So if I ask myself, Bronx, who were wounded, who's the subject in that phrase right there? Were is a verb. So we got were wounded, and then who was it that was wounded?
Robin.
In that clause, there's no Robin. It's got to be actually one of these words here.
Although.
No, this one. Both. So if you ask who was wounded, both were wounded. Does that make sense, Bronx?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, both were wounded. Because remember, the subject is either going to be a pronoun or a noun every time. It's either a pronoun or a noun. And then Paisley here, This one's kind of tricky. So the battle continued. So continued is a verb. So what continued? Asking yourself what?
The battle.
Battle. Yep, that's the subject. The battle continued. Here, Abby, we have delivered. Who delivered?
Robin.
Robin, good. And then the last one, struck. The subject is actually which. So put an S above the subject which here, which struck. So which is referring to the mighty blow back here. Robin delivered a mighty blow, which struck his opponent's ribs. So which is referring back to the noun blow. All right, we got two openers. The first one is a clausal. It's actually number 5. And we're going to put clausal because it is an adverb clause. The next one, obviously there should be a period after continued. So go ahead and squeeze that in, the period there, because this is the next sentence. Finally is an adverb. So it's an ly adverb opener, which is a number 3. So we'll just put ly adverb here. Okay, we do have fix-its here. The first one is indent, and this needs to be indented at the very beginning. So go ahead and do that backwards P symbol for a new paragraph. And this is just a new situation that's happening in the story. So anytime anything changes like that, it becomes a new paragraph. 3 capitals, we need to capitalize although. Now that we have that period here, we need to capitalize finally. And of course, Robin. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. I'm trying to make sure we have time. The comma goes right here, although both were wounded. It goes between the adverb clause and the main clause. Although both were wounded, comma, the battle continued. We already have one end mark there after continued. We need another end mark at the very end. And one apostrophe. Anybody know where that goes? An apostrophe. To show ownership. Which one needs an apostrophe? Bronx, do you know?
Delivered?
Not delivered. It should have an S at the end, like an apostrophe. We need to put in a apostrophe.
Open.
Yes. Say it again, Paisley.
Open.
Opponents. Yes, there we go. Right here. Because the ribs belong to them. So it's opponents' ribs. It's describing whose they are. So it needs to have an apostrophe with the S. All right. That was a lot. That was a lot. I'm going to let you write that out later when you go to do your homework, but yeah, it's getting longer. So I know your grammar is taking more time. Make sure to use those pages that we did in the past to help you, especially if you're looking for like the adverb clause. Go back to that list on page 115. Okay, so we're done with grammar. Your homework pages are the next 3 pages. And as always, I'm putting the answer key. Make sure you double check that. And you guys are all doing a great job with grammar. And I know that it's really difficult to nail it the first time without looking at the answer key. So don't feel bad if you make mistakes and you need to fix them. That's okay. Because this is getting a little complicated now. You guys are getting into like high school grammar here and even college. I had to take college. I had to take grammar in college. It was really hard. I don't know why they have to make it so complicated, but I guess that's just the way it is. All right. And a lot of these things, you know, you already know that like when you're speaking or writing, even you do these things naturally because you're fluent in English. But it's a matter of identifying it and labeling it. That's where it gets hard. It's like, oh, well, I usually speak like that, but I didn't know that's what it was called, or that's why we have it. Okay, couple of things. Your homework was to write about that drone, those drone pictures. Was that kind of fun for you? Did you guys end up enjoying that after all? Kind of. Paisley's like, What do you think? You liked it, Bronx? Something different? Abby was smiling. Did you like it, or is it kind of Yeah, she did. Okay, good. It's kind of fun to be creative and think outside the box, literally, of what could be happening. So, and I'm just going to have, if anybody would like to volunteer to read your story, it's totally up to you. I'm not going to pressure you, but does anybody feel like reading their story that they wrote for their homework? Oh, good. Okay, Bronx, go for it.
One day, Billy came home from school and saw a box on the table. He was intrigued who the present was for. His parents walked in the room and told him the box was for him. He was ecstatic to open the present, dying to see what was inside the box. He tore it open. It was a Unit 5000 HD drone. He immediately went outside and played with it. He had his drone doing loops, backflips, dives through the air. He briefly looked away, and before he knew it, the drone 5000 had crashed into a giant oak tree. He walked with his shoulders slumped and in tears, and he told his parents the devastating news.
Nice. Very good, Bronx. I like that. You had some really good strong verbs in there. I heard a lot of those, and your adverbs and who, which clauses. So good job. I really like that. Yeah. So it just kind of erected, and that was the end of that, I guess. Huh? What did you title your story, or did you put a title on it?
I put Drone 5000.
Drone 5000. Okay. Don't forget, though, to make sure that you connect your title to your last sentence. So you'll probably need to figure out how to include that in your last sentence. Were you able to do the topic clincher where you're connecting the keywords together? Did you get a chance to do that? Remember that?
Sure.
Okay. So that's a new thing on your checklist now, and I'm just going to show it to you really quick so you know, because it'll be on the next one. Well, it'll be on all of them, like from here on out. So this part right here, clinch your sentence repeats or reflects 2 to 3 keywords from central fact. So remember that little thing I taught you guys, the topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. Keep that in mind. That's for each paragraph.
Okay.
So basically your first sentence and your last sentence of each paragraph should either repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. So try that in the next one. Okay, Bronx, it's really important to get that from your checklist there.
Okay.
Okay. So I haven't had a chance to grade Paisley's or Abby's. I did see that you turned them in, but I'm not going to put you on the spot. If you don't feel like reading it, that's okay. Paisley?
I just wanted to say, I couldn't write about a drone. I did a helicopter.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You can do that. Yeah, you can kind of make it up however you want. It was just called the drone, but yeah, helicopter is totally fine. All right. So in light of that, we are finished now with that week 10, which is this one. So I want you to organize your binder for a second here. We're going to put some things away. Remember this one, your band adjectives list. That is now going to go in your behind the tab that says banned words. Right here toward the back. Banned words, go ahead and add that to the back here behind that tab. We'll come back to that another time, but I want you to start using that tab. So that's the other, you can also put your banned verbs list back there. The blue list that we started a while back, so that can go there. Okay. Don't forget, before you flip through your binder, close your rings. Once you get that in there, close that. This one, the yellow page, 91 that says writing from pictures. That one goes behind model charts and outlines, this tab. Model charts and outlines. Behind that, stick that in there. That's where all the yellow pages go with all the different examples of outlines. Okay. Then, let me know if I'm going too fast. That one goes behind model charts and outlines. The stylistic, oh, let me show you this one. Remember, we've been using this one off and on. It's the pink page 71. It's an adverb list. That and this one, page 21, which is the stylistic techniques. Both of these, the adverb, word list, and stylistic techniques go behind stylistic techniques tab. So you should have other lists back there. This is where all the pink lists go and your stylistic techniques. Normally we keep this at the front of your binder, but I'm wanting you to start using more of your binder now because you guys are getting better at that. Any questions about what I'm doing? I don't want to lose you guys. Stylistic techniques. That's the one that should have this yellow page 21 and this pink page 71. And it doesn't really matter what order it goes in back here, just as long as they're together. Okay, and then the other stuff from your picture writing, so basically this one, which is the overview page, and this one with the pictures, your checklist, your keyword outline, well, that's part of this actually. And then your paragraphs, all of the rest of that stuff for the drone goes behind finished compositions now. So right here, finished compositions, everything you just did for your homework, with your paragraphs and everything, all of that goes behind finished compositions. Okay. And then, thumbs up if you got all that put away. Good, good, sweet. Now, go back to, we're going to get out the next section here. Go back to source texts. And you should have the first one listed there as Bora Bora or Dog and Table. It's called, it's kind of weird title, but that is page 99. So you need this one that says week 11. You also need this one that says it's on page 101, page 103, and page 105. So those 4 pages you need to take out of your binder. Page 99 to 105. And then close up your rings. And that's it that we're taking out today. Okay, this is really good practice for you guys, keeping a binder and keeping it organized. Especially when you go into high school and you have lots of just different subjects and things that you're keeping track of. You already do because you're in junior high, and that's already probably a new thing to you to just have a lot of subjects to keep track of. But organizing a binder like that, and you can make your own tabs, that's just going to be a good skill to know. So this one we don't need, we just always keep it together. So that one you can just set aside for a second. And we're going to talk about this one, page 101. So before we get into that, I do want to talk to you about a couple things. Let me check my notes here. Okay. So before we get started with this, I'm just going to remind you, we kind of did this last week. It's very similar. So we're staying within the same unit, talking about pictures. And now remember that when you're looking at pictures in the central fact is, well, let me see if you remember. Who remembers what the central fact is in this outline? How do you know what the central fact is? Remember?
Just what you see, like the fact that's on the picture.
Yes, good. Your microphone's a little muffled for some reason, but I got that. It's what's in the picture, right? It's the fact. The central fact is what you see in the picture. So that's correct. Good job, Paisley. And then under that, these are details about the central fact. Now, who remembers, how do you come up with details? What do you need to do to help you come up with some details about what's happening in the picture?
You ask yourself the 6 questions of
Yes, that's it. Who remembers the 6 questions? What are the big 6?
When, what, where, wait, actually, this page
who,
that has it.
why,
Why?
before, after,
Outside.
outside.
Yeah, those are the extra questions, but you forgot that was 5 of the big 6. You missed how. So I always say it like this: who, what, when, why, where, how. Who, what, when, where, why, how. That's how you can come up with your answers. And that's right. Very good, you guys. So in order to access information in our heads, that's called thinking. In order to think, we got to ask ourselves questions. That's true in life, forever. That's true. If you see something on the news and you got to think for yourself and go, how is that real? Or, you start asking yourself questions, and it causes your brain to think. And that's a skill that's really important to tap into in life. It's really good for writing, but it's also good for life to think for yourself, right? You don't always want to believe everything you hear, especially on the news. I'm just saying. So you want to make sure you understand, and you're asking yourself how or what or when or where, and that will help your brain reason and formulate thoughts for yourself. Okay. It's really important to learn that. And this is part of that skill, even just practicing with these, silly pictures that we see. But accessing information, and I'm talking about for this type of stuff, we're accessing creative thinking. But sometimes when you hear information, it's good to ask yourself questions about facts too, and then do your own research to make sure that you understand and that you either can formulate an opinion about it. It's really important to learn how to do that too. Okay, so good. And For example, I'm just going to do this kind of quickly, but if you're thinking about, or you see a picture of a guy in a boat, that's all you know is a guy in a boat. You can ask yourself, who's the guy? Why is he in a boat? Where is he going? What's in the water? When does he get to where he's going? How did he end up there? And what's happening outside of the picture? And I think Paisley mentioned a couple of those, and Bronx too. A couple of extra questions are like what's happening outside of the picture, or what's invisible. Maybe there's other people standing next to this person, but they're invisible. You can't see them in the picture. So those kinds of questions are also good to ask as you're going through this outline. All right, now we're going to brainstorm a little bit. For your homework this week, I am going to let you choose which set of pictures you want to write about. This first one shows this, and then we're going to talk about the other set. Weird. Oh, it's underneath here. I'm hiding it. There's two sets of pictures. This one is the Bora Bora one, and then this one is the dog and table is what they called that one. So just so you know, to give you a heads up, you get to pick which one you want to do for your homework. And we're just going to kind of brainstorm together. Should we take a vote on this? Let's take a vote. I'm going to put them side by side. And if it's a mixed vote, that's okay. I'm just curious. So just looking at the pictures, that's all you're doing, right? You're looking at these three pictures, looking at these three pictures. Which one do you think you want to write about, Abby? You want to write about the Bora Bora or the dog and the table one?
The dog and the table.
Okay, how about you, Paisley?
I don't know, probably the dog though.
Okay, you can think about it. Bronx, you got one?
Definitely the dog on the table. That was the one that I was gonna choose.
Okay, yeah, I think so too. This one, we can really get it funny, I think, on this one. This one's a little bit more like practical, logical, and this one actually you could get creative on that. So are you okay if we choose this one, Paisley, the dog and the table one? Okay. And I think it actually would be a little easier to do. So cool. But let me tell you this, if you get to do your homework and you're like, man, I guess I really do want to write about the Bora Bora one, you can. It's okay if you still want to later. But we'll do this one together and brainstorm together. Now, like we did last time, your outline is yours. So we'll brainstorm some ideas, but ultimately I want you to pick what you want to write about, like what's going on in these pictures. You get to make it up. So let's see. The central fact is where we start. Move my light here. And this is cute. And I love dogs. They are like the best animal ever. I mean, I love donkeys and horses and all that stuff too. I love pretty much all animals, but dogs are awesome, in my opinion. How about you guys? Do you agree with that, Bronx?
Oh, where did Abby go?
Oh, Abby. No, Abby, no. She disappeared. Oh, here she comes. That was weird. Abby, we were worried. We were worried for a second. We're like, Bronx goes, where did Abby go?
My computer died on me.
Oh, great. Lovely.
Yeah.
All righty. So I was just talking about how much I love dogs, basically, and how much they have such an awesome personality. And okay, so let's just start here at the top, looking at the picture. Let's talk about it. What do you see as the central fact? What do you see in the picture? Anybody want to start with that?
The dog is begging, waiting for food to drop.
Okay, dog is begging. I don't know if he's begging here. He's kind of, I like that idea. He's just waiting for,
Yeah.
waiting for food to drop. Yep, our dogs do that too. Every time we sit at the table, they're just hanging out under the table. They're waiting for something.
Well, usually my dog gives us puppy dog eyes and Puts his head on our laps.
Oh, man. You know what? I bet somebody in your family likes to give your dog something from the table. Is that what happened?
Yes, my grandma, she spoils our dog when she watches.
Uh-oh.
It's like,
Yeah, my husband spoils our dogs. So they always sit and put their chin on his lap, never on mine because I don't ever give them food from the table, but always on him. We have a little dog and she's always like, her face fits like right between his shins and the lower part of his legs. And she just like squeezes her face in there. And then our big dog just puts her chin right on his knee. And it's like, yeah. Okay, so what else do we see in the picture? Anybody else want to say something about the picture?
food.
Food. It looks kind of like a feast, huh? We've got probably either a chicken or turkey. I'm guessing turkey because it's pretty big.
We could say like maybe it's Thanksgiving night or something.
Yeah, I would agree with that because I think those might be mashed potatoes. That kind of looks like maybe ham. And then some kind of lemonade or something and rolls. Yeah, to me, it kind of does look like Thanksgiving. We could say that. We got a clock. And it's, what time is the clock? 5:45, I guess. 5:45, maybe dinner time. All right, so we know it's dinner time. I think they put that there for us. So let's start off by making a little list of words here of the central fact. We know the dog is waiting here. So should we name the dog? I think that'd be kind of fun to name the dog. And this is where you guys can pick your own name for your own dog. Any ideas though for today, just for class?
Athena.
Athena, that's cute.
Yeah, one of our dogs were named that when I was a baby.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Athena. But if you want to put Max or I don't know. My grandma used to have a dog and her name was Friday. I always thought that was a cute name for a dog, Friday. I'll never forget that. So you can pick whatever name you want for your dog. Could be a boy or girl, whatever you pick. And I like the idea, it's waiting, Athena is waiting for something to drop. Let's put drop, I guess. Now, this is not set in stone. So if you guys think of better words than that, go for it. Okay. We're just pointing out what's literally happening in the picture here. I guess we do need to mention maybe on the next one. Uh-oh, we lost Bronx this time. Oh no. He disappeared. It must be the crazy weather. I don't know. It's bizarre. So cold right now. Who knows? Anyway, I guess on the next one, we could say that it's Thanksgiving. Or if you want to say it's Christmas, that's fine. Or maybe they're celebrating somebody's birthday. Or I don't know, maybe they're just having a big meal for fun. Notice there's no people or chairs, which is interesting in this picture. So I don't know if they didn't put the chairs in because they wanted you to see the doggy, maybe. But that could be something that's invisible in this picture. We could imagine chairs around the table. Or what could be another reason why they wouldn't have chairs around the table? What do you guys think?
Maybe the dog has eaten food before, so they need to like take the chairs away.
Ah, good thinking. True that. That's a good one. Maybe it's like buffet style. Hey, Bronx, did your computer die?
Yeah, my iPad died.
No way. Crazy. Paisley, check your battery life. Is your battery life okay?
My battery life is pretty low, but it's not gonna
Oh
die.
my gosh. If we lose you, that's it. I'm calling it.
I'm gonna have to put my screen on low instead of bright.
Okay. Yeah, that was too much. That's funny. How weird it happened to both of you guys. Okay, we were just talking about why there's no chairs around the table, and Abby had the idea that maybe the dog has gotten up on the table before and they didn't want to have the chairs there while they were setting up. That's true. Could be. What if it's like a buffet table? Have you ever done that where you set, especially for Christmas or Thanksgiving, you set all the food out and then you go sit somewhere else. You just load up your plate maybe. That's probably what I'll go with, but you think about why are there no chairs here? That's a good question. One of the big 6 questions you can ask. And I'm just gonna put buffet. And another word I could put is maybe they're getting ready. They're getting ready because obviously they're not in there yet, but the dog is waiting, right? So they're getting ready for dinner and they're getting everything to the table so they can start. All right. So I'm going to pause there and I'm going to let your imagination go wild for your homework. Now, I'm only going to give you the outline for your homework this time because I know it takes a while to start thinking and asking yourselves those big 6 questions. So take your time on filling this out. Remember the clinch or the central fact is what's really happening in the picture. The rest of it are details about what else is happening and asking those questions. So that's going to be your homework with your grammar. Just finish this outline. And then next week, we'll talk about how we can turn it into a story format. Okay, anybody have any questions about your homework or anything? No questions? Paisley, do you have a question? You look like you're thinking. You look deep in thought.
Okay, so we're just doing this. We're not writing anything yet.
Yeah, you don't have to write it yet. I didn't want it because the grammar might take you a little bit this week. So just finish the outline. That's it. You don't have to do the paragraphs. We'll do that next time. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, have a great week and I will see you next time.